Frank Haith Show. Brought to you by Pepsi, Don Thornton Cadillac, TTCU, the Credit Union, River Spirit, and St. Francis Health System. And now your host, Bruce Howard.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Frank Haith Show. I'm Bruce Howard, joined by the men's basketball coach at the University of Tulsa, Frank Haith. An interesting week, obviously. You go to Cincinnati, and that was a tough game. It always is there, but a really competitive game on Sunday against a talented Memphis team.
Yeah, we did. Probably our worst game played was at Cincinnati. And then we came back home and played Memphis, team that we led most of the game. And then there in the second half, they got going, and we had some defensive breakdowns.
Yeah, and so for the Golden Hurricane, they go on the road this week, and then later on in the week, we'll be back home. But we'll be back with the highlights of Tulsa at Cincinnati coming up next on the Frank Haith Show. We're back on the Frank Haith Show, and Coach, you take on the Cincinnati Bearcats in Cincinnati, and at that gym you won a year ago in front of a limited crowd, 70-66, a historic win for you, but really you haven't played well in that gym other than maybe the game at Northern Kentucky a few years ago where you lost by only 8. So that's it's kind of a tough place to play, isn't it?
It has been for us over the years, and you know, you mentioned the Northern Kentucky game. We were without Sterling Taplin, our starting point guard, but you know, they got great fans and a great environment. They play well in there.
Yeah, they certainly do. And for the Hurricane and the Cincinnati Bearcats, a matchup certainly. And as you see, the Bearcats coming out of the tunnel, decent crowd there. And we get things going here in the early going. And Darian Jackson had a really good game for you.
Yeah, really good drive there. And Darren, you know, we talked about driving ball with some physicality and taking a hit, and he did a great job of doing that.
Jariah Horn's basket makes it a 1-point game, and there's D-Jack again, and Darian somehow finds a little crack inside and scores, and it's 8-6.
Yeah, just playing off 2 feet, you know. There's Davenport, who got going early with deep threes, and obviously they made a lot of threes this ball game.
And now here's Horn backing up and firing and nailing a three, and Tulsa's down by 11-9 at that point with 14 minutes to go in the first half. So you're in there fighting.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a good play. That play right there, driving and kicking it, you know, that's something we've been working hard on. That was a good play by Darian.
Yeah, and Tulsa gets the lead at 12-11, but then Cincinnati goes on a run, and that's a really nice pass.
Good pass by Pritch, and you know, we need to continue to get ready to roll on those ball screen plays.
And boy, they even guarded three-pointers. Once they got going, man, they were hitting everything, it seemed like.
Yeah, no hesitation, just, you know, letting it go, and you know, another good drive by Darian and finishing over a bigger, more athletic guy.
Now it's Pritchard with the penetration, and he pulls up and knocks one down. Nice job by Anthony Pritchard.
Yeah, Anthony had a solid game this game and really played hard.
Jariah Horn pulls up, fires, hits, and now you're down 25-20. So they gave you a little bit of a solar plexus blow, so to speak, but you guys reacted okay.
Yeah, we're still, you know, playing the game the way we wanted to play it, and you know, scoring and but Julius, that was a contested step back three. I mean, it's a tough shot.
Yeah, he ends up giving them an 11-point lead, but again, you're battling back down the stretch here in the first half, and that's a good spinning move by Sam Griffin and the and one.
Yeah, again, we're working on driving the ball with some physicality, taking hits, and there's Davenport again hitting a tough three.
Well, he's 6'7", so even contested, he's able to get it off, just like 6'7" Jariah Horn,
right,
who got that one off.
Right.
And now here's Darian Jackson with a nice drive inside, and it's down to a 7-point lead with less than 2 minutes to go in the first half. And that driving shot goes in for Micah Adams-Woods, but you get one here at the end of the first half. Clock running down, but you're able to get a bucket from Sam Griffin. Griffin able to find an alley and get that basket, and that 41-34 will be your halftime score. Not bad, considering the fact that Cincinnati shot the ball so well.
Yeah, absolutely, and that was the sentiment at halftime, to say we're right where we need to be in terms of we're in a good place right now, and And, we just got to guard the three-point line better.
Yeah, 60% from three-point. They made 9 first-half three-pointers, did Cincinnati, and it was a team that really didn't come in especially hot from three, about a 32% three-point shooting team. That's a nice backdoor cut to start the second half.
Yeah, good execution there on the first play, and, so we got what we needed out of that, and then that was a tough play there. I mean, just deep three, contested, and one.
Yeah, that was NBA plus with the and one and a 4-point play, and Pritchard able to get one back for you. But at that point, Cincinnati had made a big run, hadn't they?
Yeah, they did. They got going, but like Darren just kept playing, and he played hard, and he kept competing. We didn't stop playing.
You did cut it down to 56-43, down to 13, and still battling, but Cincinnati just kept making plays, didn't they?
They did, and really at this point in the game, our transition defense was poor. We didn't get back, and they got a lot of buckets in transition, which we were not giving them in the first half, but they got going with their transition buckets.
And Darian Jackson scores a basket, and then you have Ladavius Drain with one inside. And then, guys like Madsen coming off the bench and making 3 or 4 three-pointers. Goodness, at that point you can almost throw your hands up, huh?
Yeah, and he made a couple, some deep ones in transition, and they kept shooting them, as a bucket by Jiraiya right there.
And as we go down the backstretch, and again, your best player on the court certainly was this man right there, number 11, Darian Jackson, who had a career-high 21 in the ball game. And for the Hurricane, they just keep battling, and here he goes again. He is really good in the open floor like that, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. And I think Darian is in terms of how he's playing his best basketball, but he's also our best player right now.
And that's a driving shot put up and good by Sam Griffin, cutting the lead down. But again, Cincinnati has a pretty sizable lead at that point. It's good to see a good play here inside by Sam Griffin, because he's got the outside game.
Yeah, and we've encouraged Sam to we need more free throws out. He'd be more aggressive, attacking off the bounce, and he's gotten a lot better at that because he's capable.
And he scores on that play, and the Golden Hurricane again cutting into the lead. Sam Griffin would end up with 13 points in the game. But again, Darian Jackson with a bank shot, that 2-pointer, gives him 21 in the ball game, and again, a new career high for him. Too much, though, for those guys as they end up shooting the ball really well and end up winning the game by a final score of 90-69 down the stretch. As that's your ball game, and Cincinnati wins the contest. Again, a tough place to play, and certainly a second half for Wes Miller's team, where they outscored Tulsa by 14. So and again, your three-point shooting, obviously 55.2% for Cincinnati, and that's obviously what made the game, I guess.
Yeah, it is, and I mean they shot the ball extremely well, and we just got to do a better job guarding three-point lines, as simple as that. And but like I said, they play well in that building, and it's one of those games where you can spend a lot of time with it, or you can just kind of move on to the next game.
And so the next game is the Memphis Tigers coming into town right here at the Reynolds Center on Sunday. Highlights coming up next. We're back on the Frank Haith Show, the Golden Hurricane coach getting ready for Memphis on a Sunday afternoon. And, they're depleted a little bit, but they've got so much talent, they can lose a guy or two, and they still have a whole bunch of 4-stars. So a very talented team coming into town.
Yeah, 5 stars.
Yeah, 5 stars, that's right. Yeah. 4 and 5, right?
Yeah. So, they're extremely talented. They got there was a lot of NBA scouts here to see a bunch of those guys, and the guys that were playing in the game. They're without Duren and Williams, but they got plenty of talent on that team.
Yeah, no question. And for the Golden Hurricane, in the earlier game in Memphis, you had a terrific start, a 10-0 start in the contest. And this one wasn't as good as that, but there's Darian Jackson inside trying to get you a basket, and it ends up being goaltending, and now it's 4-3.
Yeah, we moved the ball well here, and we were getting open shots. We were putting pressure on them, and we got to the free throw lines. A great pass by Drain, and and we felt like, when Danger went out the game, we had advantage in the post, and Ray does a good job of scoring right there on Manat.
And the Hurricane up at that point 9-5, and then a basket in the corner by Curtis Haywood to make it 12-7. And the first 5 minutes, good for the Hurricane. And here's Tim Dalger. He has the drive and the kick and the basket.
Yeah, just sharing the ball, the two straight possessions. Getting paint touches and sharing the ball.
And there's another goaltend, even though the basket did go in. It's Sam Griffin scoring, and you're up by 9. Now again, Memphis makes a run and chops it down to 1, and that's a nice aggressive play for Tim Dalger.
Yeah, in the finish, and great finish right there too.
Yeah, 2 straight plays for him as the Hurricane getting up 26-21 at this point. And nice basket there, obviously, for Jeriah Horn, extending your lead out to 8. And then you're really playing well here down the stretch of the first half.
Again, just, getting in those spots, sprinting, getting to the corners. Nice find by Pritch.
And Tulsa's up by double digits. Now the lead is 9, but again, there's Drain hammering one home, and Tulsa now up 38-26 here in the first half down the backstretch. And this is probably one of your better halves of the year, wasn't it?
Yeah, we played really well. Defensively, we're okay, but offensively, we're really moving the ball. You can just see a lot of these baskets are assisted.
Yeah, and there's Darian Jackson with the driving shot, 44-31 Golden Hurricane, and you would lead at halftime 46-33. Really good shooting, really good three-point shooting, and getting to the free throw line quite a bit in the first half. 17 free throws, Coach.
Yeah, all aspect of it. If you look at the stat sheet, offensively we were outstanding, and the one thing we need to shore up on that end, it was they had Tyler Harris and Keonis made a couple threes.
Yeah. And here in the second half, TU with their largest lead at 15, and all of a sudden they start hitting some shots, and they didn't stop. Now that's a three-pointer put in, obviously, by Bates, which cuts the lead down. But Nikita Konstantinovsky, that's the best move I've seen all year from him.
Yeah, he made a nice move right there, and good finish.
And so the Hurricane, again, still with the lead, and the lead extending back up to 10 on that three-pointer by Sam Griffin.
Yeah, we're still right where we needed to be to finish the game. They make a little bit of a run. And there's Darren making his second 3 in the ball game.
Yeah, he had a couple of threes, as you mentioned, a 10-point lead, holding this Memphis team off. Memphis, though, is scoring quite a bit at the other end, and that's a good play for Sam Griffin, as you really needed that basket. They had shaved the lead down.
Yeah, and we needed a bucket right there, and it's a good one-on-one play. But this is where they got us in transition. We don't see the front of that. We took some tough shots, quick shots, and they got us in transition there.
Now all of a sudden it's 63-61, but give 3 to LaDavius Drain, as he had a good game for you, and you're back up by 5 now. Down the backstretch, they had too many of those, didn't they?
Yeah, just poor defense right there, just not aggressiveness and not trying to make a play on the ball.
So Tulsa relinquishes the lead for the first time in a long time, and here's Memphis getting their largest lead at 7 down the backstretch, and now you're a little bit of trouble, but you keep battling.
Yeah, again, poor defense on that last possession. There's Darren hitting another 3. Actually, that was his second 3 right there.
So now it's a 3-point game, but look what happens. Tyler Harris gets open, a little bit of a defensive breakdown. A lot of their threes were guarded. That one wasn't.
That wasn't. Nikita left him. It's good execution right there and out of bounds play.
So now it's 82-78, and you do need a defensive stop, and you get it right here. And you can see the clock. There's only a minute left when Sam Griffin is able to make that layup. And for some reason, the clock continues to move at that point, and you lost a few seconds on that. But now here's Darian Jackson driving. It's down to a 2-point game, and no, you don't get the and one. The foul was on the way to the basket, unfortunately, and he makes the first to make it a 1-point game. 27.8 seconds to go. And boy, it's unfortunate he missed that one. Now you got a foul, don't you?
Yeah, you got a foul. And he misses 1, makes 1, so it's a 2-point game. This play, Nikita doesn't execute well on this play. He's supposed to be a diagonal cut, but we kind of play it out. And when his ball gets knocked loose right here, Sam gets back out. You can see if he makes a clean pass to Sam right there, he has a chance to catch it, make a 3.
And unfortunately, it rolls out of bounds, and that's your ball game. That's a tough one, isn't it, Coach?
It really is. One of the toughest ones in my career. So we were playing well and good enough to win the game. And there's so many plays you can go back to that hurt you. But yeah, that was really a tough one, Bruce.
Well, and obviously Memphis with 50 points in the second half. They played well. They shot very well in the second half, and they end up winning the game 83-81. So a tough loss at home for the Hurricane, but you got to get back up and get ready and get back on the horse. The Hurricane going to Tulane in New Orleans, so that game coming up on Wednesday. More on the Frank Haith Show in a moment. Welcome back to the Frank Haith Show, and we are joined now by Ray Edows, senior inside guy for the University of Tulsa, senior big. And first of all, Ray, thanks a lot for taking the time and joining us. And I know it's a struggle right now when the team has, lost a few in a row. How do you kind of, keep the excitement up and keep your spirits up?
I think it's all on us. It's all on us for sure. I think we just have to realize it's a long season. And despite the fact that we have dropped as many that we have, we still have a lot of big-time opportunities in front of us. I mean, every night we get to play as an opportunity. So if we continue to let it snowball, it'll continue to get worse. But if we dig deep and find some resilience, then we can see what the rest of the season has for us. Yeah, and
this team obviously better than I do because, you're in there every day with the guys and that sort of thing. And I think there's first of all, they're not giving up. And two, there's a lot of character on this team.
Oh, most definitely. I would agree. I think even just with as many late games as we've had should be a testament to the fact that we're nowhere near giving up. But obviously it's encouraging to see certain things translate to the court during the game. I think we've done a better job with a lot of different things that we've been working on. So just got to continue on that current trajectory.
Yeah, and Ray, you mentioned late, saying late situations. What you're saying is close games down the stretch and just unable to, to get that big basket at the end. I know that's frustrating to the guys, isn't it?
Most definitely. I mean, you get late game experience and you want it to help, and it should help, but it really only helps if you take advantage of the lesson that you learned and apply them so you can get the wins in future late games. So I'm hoping we've got enough experience where we don't need to get any more to win these.
Let's have the experience of winning them, right?
Right.
Exactly. Well, Ray, you've had an interesting trek, obviously, and your journey has taken you through Normal, Illinois, at Illinois State and then Tulsa. Describe what that's been like for you at the two different places.
Well, it's been incredibly different. I think transferring here during the COVID pandemic as well changed things a lot. But even coming in, not being able to visit Tulsa before getting here, but that's a testament to Coach Haith and just the rest of the team. Those guys brought me in two different levels, two completely different cities. But ever since I set foot on campus, I felt comfortable and trusted the coaching staff and my teammates as well, just getting me acclimated.
What do you like best about the University of Tulsa, not only on the floor and athletically, but academically?
Well, academically, there's been some great opportunities for me within the finance department or within the business department. I'm a finance major, so different classes I've taken, different professors I've met, and a lot of big-time networking opportunities as well.
Are you good with numbers? I mean, if accountancy, that sort of thing. Are you pretty good with math? I'm
not bad at math. I'm far from bad at math. I'll say it like that.
Now, folks may not know this, but your name is actually Oreoluwapu, which is maybe the Nigerian roots. Is
right.
That correct? So,
yes.
So what does it mean, first of all, and two, how did you end up being Ray?
Oreoluwapu means God's gifts are many in Yoruba. And I ended up being Ray because I was first going by Rayolu, but some people were struggling to pronounce it when I was younger. So I just figured I'd give them one syllable, just Ray, and just been rocking with it since then.
And it wasn't so much that you were sick of having your name mispronounced, but you were trying to make it easy on everybody else. Then,
most definitely.
And so I know with your Nigerian roots now, you went back to Lagos, Nigeria at some point, and you've said that that's kind of one of the more interesting trips you've ever made. Why? And tell me what you did.
Oh, most definitely. That was in 2010. I had my 11th birthday out there. I have a lot of family in Nigeria. That's where most of my family is. So just the opportunity to be able to spend time with them and be around my family's culture more and learn more about my family and where most of them are was a big time opportunity, and I loved it.
And of course, there are a lot of Nigerians that have played for the University of Tulsa, and I know you're proud of that heritage, aren't you?
Oh, most definitely. Even back to what you were asking before about transferring in here, being able to talk to Martin Zigbanu on the phone, and then seeing him for cross paths a little bit when I got here was just big, and me being able to get comfortable with the situation I was coming into.
Well, Ray, there's a whole lot of time yet to go in this season, so finish strong, young man, and we'll see you in New Orleans. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you.
Ray Idowu joining us here on the Frank Haith Show. Coach will rejoin us for the final segment coming up next. We're back on the Frank Haith Show. The Golden Hurricane going on the road to New Orleans to take on Tulane, and that's a tough place to play always. But now Tulane obviously has had a really good season. They've had a wonderful start to their league season, haven't they?
Yeah, they were struggling a little bit in non-league, but once they got in league play, they've kind of figured it out. Obviously, Forbes is outstanding, and Cook, the little freshman guard, is really, really good. And they play with a lot of confidence. And it's going to be a tremendous challenge for us, but great opportunity.
Yeah, and great opportunity, and you just got to keep grinding, don't you, Coach?
That's all you got to do. I mean, you just got to. Nobody's going to feel sorry for you. Tulane obviously not going to feel sorry for us, and we got to get out there and get ourselves ready to play.
All right, Coach, have a great week.
Thank you.
That's head coach Frank Haith, and that is the Frank Haith Show. So long for now.